Okay, everybody, we are live on YouTube. We are in the Discord chat room as well. So this is hopefully it's all fine, connected together. But we're gonna do the postmortems. Congratulations to start on a successful jam, and I say that having no idea what any of you accomplished, but fantastic work regardless. If it all fell apart at the end, great job. But we're going to hear about as many as you want to share. And the way that's going to work is for folks online and for folks in the room, you're going to screen share into the Jam server, into the General 1 channel. If you're in the room, make sure your mic is muted. If you're on Discord at home, you, of course, will not want to mute your mic when you're speaking, that is. And that's pretty much all it is. We just get up and talk about our games, and then we'll talk a little bit after, kind of postmortem on the whole experience. That sound right, Sam?
Yeah, sounds about right.
Sam agrees with me, everybody, so I think that's what's going to happen.
Big thumbs up.
Do we have an order of who would like to go first? Do we want to take volunteers?
I was keeping a track of a list just to get an idea of how many we have people have signed up to do. But that doesn't have to be the order we go in. So I think based on the size of the list, we probably want to aim for like 10 to 15 minutes. But that's not like a firm cutoff.
Yeah, I think as much time as you can manage. I think once you get to 10 or 15, then you're starting to press time, I think. Shorter is better, for sure. Yes. Yeah. And of course, you can share additional thoughts you forgot to mention on the server after the thing.
Yeah, and play each other's games. Go onto the website, go to our Jam site, and play each other's games. Even if you're seeing a lot of the postmortems, just play them for yourself for fun.
Yeah, some stats. We have had 75 registered participants this year, which is more than we've ever had. And I haven't checked every single one of them, but like I said, everybody's a winner. We had 23 games logged on the website, which is also a pretty good number. So congratulations, everybody. We had some big teams and still had a lot of games, so fantastic.
Do you want to talk train jam again?
Yeah, we might as well. So Sam reminds me what we should really be doing is using this time to hype up what we've been calling Trains Jam or Junction Jam. It's a working title. We mentioned it at the top of the event. Everybody remember when I talked about that?
Yes.
Do you remember how excited I was and how I really wanted to do that interest form? Yes. How many of you filled in that interest form? Okay. The other half of you, get to it. And then some of you with your hands up, I think you're just trying to play the room. So the link to that interest form is at the site we've been saying all weekend, igdatc.org/ggj. The link is in the Discord. It's posted there on the wall. It's in the miscellaneous section on there. You can't miss it. If you don't know where it is, ask somebody. They'll point you to it. But the more interest we have registered, the more likely this thing is going to happen. And we're really excited. Summer 2026. Everyone gets on a train. We go to Chicago, jamming the whole way. We jam all night in Chicago. We sleep over the night in Chicago. And we jam all the way back home. And then, then you're home and you can do whatever you want with your life. So it's the first time we're doing it. It's a global game jam initiative, but Sam and I were a big part in getting it on its feet. And so you'll make us proud and you'll make our community proud if this Midwest event is a success. And the idea is something that we're actually hoping, if it's a success, we can export to other parts of the world with cities that are accessible by train, more accessible than a lot of our cities are. So it's a pilot program as well. So your participation is very valuable to us for that reason as well.
And if you have friends in other cities who are also in game dev, tell them to check it out as well, because we are just one of many spokes that are trying to gauge interest. So we know how many major cities with rail routes will be participating.
Yep, and all that's on the interest form. So if you are actually going to be somewhere else in the summer, maybe you choose a different city.
Yep.
If you're in a city, if you're nearby one of the cities that we've been thinking about, consider maybe a road trip in. Like, it doesn't have to be that you live right here or that you're in this room.
igdatc.org/ggj for that interest form.
Okay, all right. Who's up first?
Anybody want to go first for postmortems?
All right.
Josh.
So, Josh, can you make it up here with your laptop? Can someone beat Josh up here with their laptop?
I think Josh will probably have the best setup of the people on our team, speaking as another one of the team members.
Possibilities. One person could be at the laptop and one person could be up top.
Could do, yes. If you want to do it, you can have one person as MC and one person driving the train.
And I think you can have a couple people up here as well. Our
Yeah.
camera should track faces, so we can kind of cram however many people want to come up. Oh my gosh, not much of a change in the guard here, but we're going first with ours.
All right, I should be sharing my screen probably. That would help.
So, while Josh is getting things set up, our game was Mass Cafe with a Q and not a U. Ended up taking the aesthetics of the gameplay loop of the game, and if I'm just naturally yapping to fill time, so join in and cut me off if I'm talking over parts that you would feel excited to talk about. But the gameplay loop is you are a sentient masquerade mask placed in a cafe with a bunch of other people in this setting who are all also participating in this whole masquerade.
I mean, you're perfectly fine talking because I'm kind of driving it. So,
streaming on the Discord. Yeah.
all right, we're working.
It takes a while. It's been. She gets back now.
What does it say here?
Yeah.
It was Lucas, whose last name I don't actually know.
Not here, but he was a remote participant.
Yes, we had one remote participant. It was Lucas. He was on Discord. They're calling about
Like I'm still sending a signal.
A team member of Gavin and I from one of our other game projects that we're working on. Yeah, so you as the sentient masquerade mask basically talk to people. It is a visual novel, so you talk to the people in this cafe, get to know them, and try and convince them to engage in putting together a surprise party for someone who is, for the wearer of the mask, who is on their way to the cafe. So it is somewhat timed, and you are just talking with people to get to know them and try and persuade them to be on board without being too pushy or scaring them off.
We ended up making 3 characters. Player kind of sort of counts, but
Yeah,
the 3 others is Nina the barista, Yua, one of the cafe customers, and then another one is Easton. And I think they all turned out really well.
Yeah, the current pending background for the people in the room right now is putting Roach's amazing character portraits to absolute shame. They are some of the best artwork I've seen in the world. Hands down.
But yeah, they were kind of, the vibe was fully Sam's idea. Masquerade. Sam had a lot of like really useful resources that we were able to use. There's a lot of patterns in the game that are fully Sam's custom, and they're really beautiful. And they really help sell like the aesthetic.
Yeah, they're just like a bunch of repeating patterns and textures that I've made for other projects and have been reusing throughout other things for years and years and years. So I was just like, here, have everything, go crazy with it. In terms of like diversifiers, when we were thinking about ideas, started with interest in doing the we might get some visuals here. I know what to do from here. Where's the remote? Source.
All right, I will pause while we hopefully get this sorted out.
I believe. But we were talking about doing the hand attack. Yeah, it's
not projecting.
there a thing that came loose with any of these cords?
All right.
We started with the local diversifier, the Minnesota No Ice. Come on, Doug.
I swear to God, it's not Doug.
It's not Doug. Yeah, Doug is working on the laptop. It is whatever's up in the box here. This evil box.
I blame Sonic, I guess.
Yeah, you sound like my enemy. But yeah, we wanted to take a light spin on the Minnesota No Ice local diversifier, but wanting to do it through a lens that felt most natural to all of us. So not focusing, for us that meant not focusing directly and literally on recent events and things happening, but focusing on more so our feelings and priorities in this sort of time period. So focusing on
And then boiling down to like community. And
Yeah.
our version of portraying that in the game is like this kind of Minnesotan themed masquerade cafe.
Yeah.
And we're pack together. And that was our version of that.
A lot of the visuals for the background were referenced off of pictures that we took from Cafeto, a cafe that a lot of us live very nearby. So that was another aspect in which we pulled from that. I swear it shows very well when we have it.
My computer's still just going to
Yeah.
You hear a little bit of that.
Turn off. Yeah. Yeah.
Not Doug.
This wonderful ambiance that is weirdly fitting for this setting right now. It was done by Lucas, our remote participant, joining us from Boston. Way out. A friend of ours from college. That's a good question. How many people are on our team? 8 people on our team. In the army,
Yeah.
a lot of us.
I'm very excited to see it.
Yeah. So Roach did the.
Yeah, so I did the dialogue portraits, but every other piece of art
Right.
was done by these two. And it's also really beautiful.
really
and
weird.
Also really cute.
Yeah, I'm happy with the balance we struck. Again, I love using the patterns that I have just for extra mileage to quickly make something that looks
Turn on now.
pretty detailed. Yes. Yeah.
Ooh. I think for a lot of us, this was our first time like using Godot. So programming, I know two of our people were like completely new to using Godot completely, and then you have had experience, so you were kind of mentoring, not menteeing. We were menteeing them on working within Godot and with GDScript specifically as well.
Yep. If someone wants to run the demo, I can talk a bit about that side of it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, if you're on the Discord, this will be. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, go for it.
Come on. There's a mouse over there because I don't like my touchpad.
Fair enough.
So, like they were saying, a lot of the people coming in here, it's their first time using Godot. So, as one of the people around here that knows a fair bit about Godot, I joined the team to kind of help mentor. I also ran the production side of things, so it gave me a chance to not get so focused into any one part while still kind of helping everyone move along. So as far as the learning Godot part goes, people seem to take to it fairly well. We decided to run with a plugin for the visual novel side of it called Dialogic. It's one of the more well-known ones on the Godot side. So there was a bit of a learning not just the Godot engine, but also Dialogic and its systems and how it worked. I think what we came together, it's not necessarily like as fully fleshed out as we were hoping to get it, but we did a fairly decent job in putting together some good writing, some good presentation, and some good cinematic flair in 48 hours, which that's quite a bit to accomplish.
What is your experience with Dialogic? Like, was it mostly a good experience? Did you find it immediately useful, or was it kind of more?
So I think trying to connect it with some of the internal game systems got a little wonky, but not necessarily due to Dialogic, but more so due to how we were trying to marry two separate systems together in a way that wasn't entirely the way Dialogic likes to handle things. As far as using Dialogic for creating the narrative, I know it's having a little bit of visual side of it. We had writing aspects of it. When I started like that narrative and like creating scene stuff, I found it really useful as far as the visual novel tool goes for creating that kind of camera movement, character kind of animation. So I definitely could see expanding a lot further on this and making it even more cinematic. I like using it.
Lucas also made
Plug in visual novel stuff. What does it?
Means we didn't have to write visual novel sites from scratch. That's what we got out of it. Which then meant we could.
Seeing it would probably help.
Which then it would definitely be helpful.
Wouldn't that be?
Everybody can just check out the General One channel that Scott is passing into.
Yeah.
Until if and when we get this set back up.
Maybe.
Is it gonna be?
My God. Did we do anything?
Really was unplugged. I did
start getting a new HDMI
Crazy.
cable,
So
we can maybe
scared it.
So okay, look at some of this amazing character art.
Yeah.
Amazing. Crazy. Yeah, and then we've got the background here. This is another cafe. We
ended up going with a pretty. We figured out our baseline pretty quickly.
large aspirations at first.
We had large aspirations at first, and I think we're gonna have someone unmuted in
general
in the voice channel. Is the laptop.
I muted the laptop. Or at least I did at one point.
Oh, yeah, this one needs. Hand up? Yes.
Approach 4 different characters in French. 48 hours.
Really fast typing speed.
That's the big part. Also, we had people on narrative for that. That's Roy, one of our IGD board members, who is not here right now, but is
Hopefully watching on the screen.
Did a lot of the writing for
Did a lot of writing for our game. Is very experienced with writing for visual novels in general.
But it started basically with scribbling things out. Book flowchart of
Character 1 you interact,
have them be a baseline and
and
go
then
to character 2,
go to character
problem
2,
that needs to be solved.
that needs to be solved through interactions.
And then once that is resolved,
Character 3, very late.
And then we planned if we, by some miracle, were able to get all that done
we're able
fast
to
and
get all that done,
fit in some of
and
the
we're
other
able to fit in
concepts we had,
concepts
putting them along the pathways, adding more dialogue. And then at that point, potentially expanding the environment, adding a second floor basement, or just making the cafe longer.
And we didn't start with all the dialogue that is currently had a very rough first pass just so we could test the interaction stuff out and then figure stuff out, and then together we started adding additional dialogue, fleshing stuff, making it more interesting until we got to good enough by the time it was 8 o'clock. Good enough by
Oh, and can we talk to
the jester.
Hey, there's character number 4. So this is
Character
the
number 4. So this is the wearer of the player character, you.
basically
the one whose birthday it is.
Wow, dang.
And
Yeah, there are I think
I think 3 different end states.
Yes.
good, bad, and neutral. Depending on how
many
of the cafe you convince to hang around for the party.
You had another 24 hours.
Another 24 hours. Ooh.
Probably another character.
Probably another character. Just more characters.
More character.
We ended up like ideating like 12
characters.
and not all of them had their own specific plotline. Some of them were grouped together, but everyone was supposed to have like their own puzzle that the player was supposed to solve to get everyone interested in the party.
And I think just more dialogue
branches.
And then the other thing that we kind of had to go away from time was an underlying system where depending on which dialogue options you choose, it would contribute a numeric value to player character's willingness to actually stay for the party, and we wanted to play a lot more on that. But as we saw what scope we had, we opted for for a lot more
direct, just get through this pen, get to the end. So
we have more time. I wanted to at least explore
to at least explore a lot more like nuance.
Yeah,
Playing around with the idea of
character
the character as just in and out
you have
of
to actually
like convince all of the people keeping the campaign to
you around rather
you
than
around rather than
you have your starting
you have
position,
your
you can
starting position, you can
WASD because they're just cool with it. More with that, and then adding more stakes for
stakes for
what like
incorrect inputs or like disincentivizing things where
you
if you piss a person off or you make them uncomfortable, they'll like
take the mask
take the mask off
put it
and
on the table,
table
and
and you'll just be stuck there for a while until
the barista
stuff comes back around and it's like, hey, how'd that go?
What's up now?
What's up then?
Thus making
Thus,
it harder to
get everything in that time.
Also, maybe an
Also, maybe an screen so that you're just wandering.
Yeah, I think, and this will probably be last question.
This will probably be the last question.
What you mentioned that you had some assets already that you could then bring in to make things look more polished. What are those? Because I'm trying to figure out what they are, and if they
So on the
they
screen,
work really well.
these patterns right here on the dress, 100% count as them.
All of the
There's, like, curtains.
swooshes, all of the curtain patterns up there. There's some in the lamp that aren't super visible. These portraits where other pieces of art that bunch like these details in the chain. A lot of just like the extra accents and the texture on background mirror almost just all ripped from like this detailed pretty patterns.
Was that like in the actual asset when you were making the asset? Was it just left with an overlay layer, or
Basically, yeah, or vectorized in some cases for some of the individual components. I just would have like an alpha mask and then vectorize that. Usually I try to keep them in like a grayscale of like three colors
so that you can have
with it. Some of the character portraits also have patterns of some sort, which you implemented so well.
I think we're about to come down anyway, but yeah, the restart is just.
Let's end on some amazing character.
All right.
Yeah, we have also a custom logo made by Sam.
A lot of fun with that one.
Let's do it, please.
please.
But yeah, like these like big patterns here, they were just clipped on top of like the flat colors. Nothing too exciting. It's like a very quick way to just add a bunch of detail, and it works with this specific style where everyone's like in a masquerade.
Yeah, even with
Just like the overlays, characters like
the
flowers on them.
all of that.
Yeah.
That's us. That's our game. Anybody want to go next? You take volunteers? Yes. Bring the laptop up, and then you'll screen share.
Tying it together. Let's try to be a little shorter though. I'm trying to.
Hopefully the text just works.
So mute your microphone and turn the volume off.
And assuming we don't have more technical.
Both are done.
And
then just share the screen, right? Uh-oh.
Yeah, remote folks are available. They can join us.
If we're muted, then we're just muting.
We do have music in our game.
Yeah. Deafen and mute yourself in Discord. Yeah, do both. But that's why we had feedback, because it's coming out of Josh's.
I think it's on the microphone thing down there.
Well, isn't it? Oh, right here.
Yeah, I can mute you, but I can't deafen you.
Okay. Then I can have my sound on and it.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Do I just share my screen?
Okay, so this is everyone that we had working on the project. I think you guys have to come farther this way so they can see you.
Right, the camera.
But this is our game, Snowchinko, and I guess I'll start playing. If someone else wanted to talk a little bit about the process.
I guess they're looking at me. So yeah, I mean, I guess I just had the idea when we're talking about the whole no ice thing. And I was like, well, what if we just have the smashing snowman, and then the final boss is a big ice man that you smash. That was the core idea of the game, and then so it basically involved. Well, it does look really slow on here. Huh?
Oh no, on the computer it's decent.
Okay. So basically it was that, and then this other, like, cheap incremental game that I've played before that we used for inspiration. And basically the
It
idea...
involved a pachinko machine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So basically the concept is you're running around and throwing snowballs and crushing snowmen and picking up what they drop, and then you get your rewards. They drop through the pachinko machine into the multipliers at the bottom, gets you points, buy upgrades to let you smash more snowmen faster, continue the cycle. And that's basically the whole game. Yeah. So like a lot of the other guys, this was my first time using Godot as well. Longtime Unity developer, so a lot of it felt very familiar, but a lot of it was pretty foreign as well. But in general, I'd say it went pretty well.
Yeah, I think it was just me and Jesse who were working in engine. Or no, sorry, Nick too.
Yeah.
And
Like
Zach, you were
I'm
also
still a
in engine,
beginner
so-
though. Like you did a lot more mentoring.
We were doing a lot of learning on the fly and figuring out as we go, but it ended up working out really well. I think all the processes. There's a lot of things in here that if you know anything about code would be really upset about, but it's one of those things where it's a game jam. So like if it runs bad, it's okay. I think so. Yeah.
What's the worst thing you did? What's the most appalling?
Well, so in the Plinko machine, it's instantiating every instance of these like balls, and then at the bottom it just deletes it. And so when you have like 300 resources, it just spawns 300 and then deletes all 300. So it's pretty bad. but
it works.
But it works great.
Although
Yeah.
one thing that went really well that almost like shocked you a lot is, so he worked on this screen mostly and I worked on the other screen mostly, and we just kind of agreed on an interface like verbally and built it, and then we checked both in and they talked to each other. You picked up stuff in one scene and had them in the other scene, and it worked, and resources transferred on the first try. Just
it was such a beautiful experience to have. It was
the first time you actually play and be like, because he was testing with like a static number of resources, and then hook it up into the game and just see what you picked up drop down. That was a crazy moment. So,
I actually have a question for a fellow team member. So this was your first game jam. What did you expect before coming, and how is it similar or different than what you expected?
Most boring answer. This is about what I expected. Wish I had something insightful. I was really impressed with how welcoming and patient with my lack of knowledge everybody was. And there's just an environment of like checking on and encouraging and helping each other that I maybe was not as prepared for. But very
expect
impressed.
a bunch of snobs that are like
Not snobs, but just kind of everybody hunkered into their own little bunker and desperately trying to hit a deadline. The amount of but the amount of people coming around and asking, how'd you do that? Or I'm running into this, I know you know that. Help me out. It's
Yeah.
good environment to be in.
Well, and we have dynamic music because of our wonderful artist. How many tracks did you end up making?
For the snowball fight, I think there's 16 different tracks. They're iterative, so they just keep building and building and building. By the end, it's pretty intense. And then there
You can just go get yourself killed right away and then run it again.
True.
If you can, because with enough upgrades, you basically can't die until you run out of time. Your guy shoots the snowman faster than you can run into them even if you try. So. Yeah, biggest thing I think I wish I had more time on this scene to juice it up a little bit. Like the Plinko scene is very satisfying, looks really good to play, and this one's kind of flat. So like it would have been nice to get more time on this. And then I guess and then more time for balance I think would have been great because this the gameplay is first pass like swag balanced. So yeah. Any other?
Yeah, I think the spirit of the game jam is strong with this game because it's a hodgepodge of different stuff, which is to me what game jam games are like kind of cool about. Just like, and we're just like the B team. We were like the leftover guys in the hallway that didn't have a team, so we were the only, and so we kind of like forced to be together. And yeah, we made it work. So, which is awesome. Like working with what you have and the limitation. Like,
and we had people from every discipline on that random group of people, which
That's true.
rarely happens with all the game jams I've been part of. It's really easy to get stuck in a group of nothing but programmers or nothing but artists. So.
yeah, and Jesse's like a really good like Unity developer. It's cool that he was willing to like, yeah, sure, I'll learn Godot, like for the game. So because
I've been using Godot for like 2 years, so there was a lot of, oh, how does this work in Godot again? That's right. Okay, this is how you explain it in or how does this work in Unity? Now I have to explain it in Godot. So trying to bridge that gap, but yeah, that's our. I think that was my fault.
It was his. I was like
in the hallway.
I also pushed slightly towards Godot since I don't.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Because it's free.
Yeah.
Well, and it's
And
like
I've
cool.
been meaning to learn it anyway, so this was a good excuse.
And in the hallway, I said, I want to work on a Godot project. I don't really care what we do. So, yeah, I don't know. I think we probably hit our time.
Is
Yeah.
it easier than Unity?
I think, well, I think it is, but I also was
But it's
like a
more
lot.
rewarding.
Yeah.
It's got some quirks and a few things that are like coming from Unity. There are a few things that feel quite a bit less polished. Other things that are really nice that you can't do in Unity. So there's definitely some give and take. It's way faster. Like Unity, half the reason I've been wanting to try it is because Unity over the last few years has been getting so bloated and the editor's slow and takes 30 seconds every time you make a change to try and get back into it. I'm like, I remember Unity 2 and 3 it was instant just like this was, and now it's really slow to iterate, and so been looking to try and get into this, and I think it's got a lot of potential, and maybe even in another year or two it will be super solid. I mean, it already is.
It can only get better, right? Because like that's the thing.
And I'll just super quickly say from my perspective, as someone who came from a lot of non-coding programs like Team Fusion and RPG Maker, the signals to objects reminded me a lot of the ability in some of those programs to set if this, then this, like without fully typing everything out.
Cool. All right. Thank you.
Let's see if one of the online teams, if they can hear it, okay, to just jump on. Ready to get it on.
Hello.
Hello.
Would I possibly be able to go next?
Go for it. Yeah, you're up.
Okay, cool. Can everyone hear me all right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. All right, just a sec, pulling it up here. All right, hi everyone. I'm Jacob. Oh, and yeah, I made my asthma mask. I kind of had the idea right away for like a gas mask. Because I've kind of been like trying on and off to like do a survival horror thing for a little while. And so
Are you sharing your screen?
see, yeah.
We're not seeing it on this end.
Okay. Here, yeah. Sorry, just like I'm trying to get it pulled up. Uh, all right, just one sec. Sorry. Here, you know what? Actually, I'll just screen share a video. Because right now the game is like really loud, so I'll screen share the video that I recorded.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
We see it.
Cool. All right. Yeah. Uh, so yeah, for this, yeah, we're trying to on and off to do a survival horror game, and then I was like, oh, like a mask, a gas mask that would kind of be like perfect. Because limited oxygen is always fun. Uh, and yeah, it came together. Like I was actually really surprised. This is like my first really big game jam game. Um, and so I was pretty surprised at like kind of how well it came together for me. So this is like a really small clip that just kind of shows off the kind of two main ways you interact with the game. So it does use tank controls, which some people might turn some people off, but I really like them. I really like the Resident Evil games, so that was kind of right away. I was like, I'm gonna do tank controls in first person. Um, so it's kind of clunky, um, but yeah, we got some cool zombies, and I think one thing I would do if I had more time, I would change some of the zombie AI because there are quite a few times where like they will be kind of far away, and if you shoot them, you can just kind of like you can kind of now that I've played through it a few times, I know you can kind of cheese it pretty easily. Like I can like shoot all the zombies from pretty far away. I mean, I think on people's first time that doesn't really happen, but that's kind of what I noticed for myself. Um, and then yeah, so there's the zombies, and then the second kind of big mechanic is the gas. So there's like the gas is maybe how the zombie virus spread, and so then you can hold the alt to put on this gas mask, and then as you can see, the O2 decreases, um, and then yeah, you can like there'll be replenishing stations um, in between each area, and then I kind of started later on in the game. There are like some more zombies that show up in the gas and stuff, so you kind of gotta watch your O2 and your health at the same time. Um, and I did the 3D modeling, which is really fun, and I used some pictures of my apartment basement for textures, which is really fun to do and kind of work out. I liked how the pipes on the top kind of look. Those are from my apartment, some creepy basement stuff. So yeah,
Cool. What were your biggest
yeah, I
challenges?
think that's about it. My biggest challenges, um, I think I don't know. It actually went smoother than I thought. I think because I was working on some similar stuff right before this. I think it was like, oh, I kind of was already in the good headspace. Um, I think the zombie AI getting that to work all right because there were a few times where like I was trying to keep track of all the collision layers and like, oh wait, zombie, which I had a bunch of spheres around the zombie for detecting and then attacking, so I was like kind of trying to keep track of those. I think that was probably the hardest part.
Do you see a future in this project, or is it going to inspire the next project?
Yeah, I think right now I had kind of another idea in mind. I was doing a little bit of a racing game, but I think I do think this could go further. I'd have to kind of refactor some of the code because it was pretty the spaghetti code, which honestly was kind of freeing for this because I feel like if I wasn't pressed for time, I probably would have ended up spending way longer on the code trying to get it to look right and stuff. So I'd want to do that first maybe. But yeah, I really like the gas mask idea. I like holding the button in to keep the gas mask on. I think that's kind of fun. And yeah, I think that it could. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to compliment the juggling two health bars, but having different mechanics for that, which is like different from, you get like health and mana a lot of games will do, but this is interesting. It's both expressions of health, but preserving it requires you to do
Mhm.
different things for each, which is one is a void and one is sort of, with the gas mask. It's very cool.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool, thanks for sharing.
Cool. Yeah,
Anyone,
thanks.
anyone else online want to take the next slot? Or if anyone wants to, storm the podium, also an option.
Sounds like us, but that's where we're going.
I'm short enough that
Where's my game?
So just remember to mute and deafen.
Yep. Just did that. Hey, what is it sharing? Okay, good.
Discord.
Will it?
I think it's on the wrong.
Okay.
It might be doing an application.
Yeah. I didn't get a chance to see what it was actually. Just do entire. That'll be easy. Okay. Then let me see if I can get this running. Okay, there we go.
So we made Socially Stealthy, which is a game about masking or trying to avoid masking by simply avoiding social situations. If you want to click to start it.
Yeah, hold on. I'm trying to get this to actually. Let me refresh the page. Because it definitely did better job at full screen than that before. There we go. All right.
So you can move around with WASD, and your character rotates, which I'm very proud of. And you basically are going around the office picking up collectibles. In our second level, so you can see you have the timer. Your timer is shorter, and the collectibles respawn randomly, so you're having to navigate around the office. And yeah, so I did the character, the pickup textures.
I did the backgrounds, the level design, like all of the kind of like little props that aren't collectibles and characters. And I haven't done a lot of pixel art really at all. So that was actually really fun. I'm really proud of that plant. That's one of the best things I've ever done. One of the best things I've ever done in my entire life is that plant. So I appreciate that.
So you can see that lowers the social battery, but we've gotten 2 score from picking up objects, and since coming up here, we're going to get a unique object, which is the key card, which lets you open doors. So you can choose in the main level to not actually pick that up, but it does mean that you have a lot less opportunities for evading people, That being said, you do want to time when you unlock doors because there have been multiple times when I've unlocked a door and that made an NPC be able to get me. So you can see that there's a lot more of them here.
We're okay. We're okay. Oh.
Talking to a cubicle.
I haven't found a single light. Oh.
The idea for this game was from at my work. There's a like coffee machine that you can make tea, hot chocolate, that kind of thing at. And is also like if somebody else comes in wanting something, you kind of get stun locked in a conversation. There's multiple times when I've gone up to the door, seen if someone was there, and then walked back to my desk for to go back later, just because I was like, now isn't the time to talk. I'm not in the mood. I just want my thing.
Only got one item before time ran out there.
So yeah. You guys have anything else to add?
I joined this team because the team, like, as soon as she kind of pitched that premise, it just, I don't know, resonated with me, and I wanted to do something kind of non-violent for this jam that was just sort of the mood I was in. I didn't realize how stressful that would being. I didn't realize how funny it would be, like when it all came together. I thought it would be a little, I don't know, a little more cringy, and it ended up being. Thank you for that laugh. That did a lot of me.
What did you use to make your
Krita. Yeah, there's like a pixel brush hidden in there somewhere. And I used a little bit of the pixel dithering brush, which kind of adds a nice effect, but not a ton of it. And then for the level design, we used Unity's tile map system. This is my second time ever using it. The last time was also a jam, so I still actually didn't know what I was doing again, but it eventually works. It's like not always the most intuitive, like in terms of what layer you're on. That could be, colliders were probably the most annoying part.
Yeah, I know this was my first time using the tile map too. There was definitely some moments of trying to put down objects to be on the collisions, but then going, oh wait, wrong tile map, there are no colliders on this, or vice versa. So you're accidentally running into things that you shouldn't be able to run into.
You can see there's a little bit of like rendering order stuff going on that's kind of cool. Like if you walk in front of a plant, I think it should kind of look like it's in front of you at the right times. There's other instances where we just sort of decided it wasn't worth it. Like you can't walk further down into walls because it was too much to manage.
Yeah, and I served as the programmer of the group, so there was a lot of just trying to get as much done as I can with actual. Oh yeah, here's a perfect example of that ordering.
Cannot hide behind the mop bucket. Do you have anything that you want to shout out for programming?
Yeah, what was the hardest thing?
Hardest thing from a programming perspective? I thought it was going to be like navigation of like the coworkers. Honestly, ended up not being that bad because I decided to just go very simple. I ended up doing some like waypoint system to create the paths, so they just go to one point and the next place, so on and so forth. So that ended up being a lot easier than I was expecting. The actual hardest part, there was a lot of struggling with getting the walking to be correct, and for you may have noticed with some of these like detection sight lines, they'll wig out a little bit. In the end, I needed Patrick to help me fix those a little bit. So there was like some weird thing about how I was flipping the characters so that way you could get the sidewalk animation working.
It's flipped and then wants to rotate and interpolate. I still don't actually know why there's still a little bit of jitter in there.
Yeah, that was probably like the weirdest bug that we didn't fully get out, but it's a good state.
Thanks, team. Yeah. I could stand there.
But that would be fine too. Yeah. Oh, you guys going?
Oh, we're good. We'll be quick. No. Said they could storm the stage.
Okay, so I just share screen unmuted and deafened. Is that right?
Yep. You have to watch your own screen.
What? Oh, what?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, so we made It's Going to Be Okay. And it's... What?
Was it okay?
I think so.
Not yet. Still in the future.
Future tense.
We old world is dying, new world struggles to be born. Now is the time of monsters, etc. So it is a worker allocation game, kind of like a puzzle game where you have. That's correct, right? Audio. Okay, great, cool. You have people, or meeples, who have needs and resources. Colors are a little strange right now. But the idea is that if they have needs that are not being met, that has the red exclamation point that pops up. So this person has all of what they need. And let's see. Let's just try. All right, so if we connect here, on the left is who we've selected, on the right is who we're hovering over. So you can see that like they need food, and now that's so trippy to look at that. Because we're allocating resources to that person, their needs are now met. I'm not going to play the game super well, but as you go on, you get score based on how many people's needs you've met. And if like a person fails to have their needs met in a turn, their health goes down. And if their health goes all the way to 0, they leave your mutual aid network. This kind of scary guy up here is the anonymous donor. He's actually very friendly. It's true. He never has any needs, but he has all the resources you could possibly want. So you can simply meet somebody's needs, and that's quite nice. Oh, somebody over here having a bad time. Okay, who has water? There should be always enough, at least numerically, for everyone's needs to be met. Really? Oh, you don't need water, you need shelter. The numbers match, but it's
have not. I play test this, and then I sometimes will have unmet needs.
Yes, that is something we discovered while creating this game, is that it's difficult to make a puzzle that is guaranteed to have a solution, but the solution is interesting. So while there is like numerically enough resources to match all of the needs of people on the map, that doesn't guarantee that there is an association between the people that will meet everyone's needs. So that's difficult, but it feels like an NP hard problem to like have an interesting solution that meets everyone's needs. So we just kind of added the health buffer so that you can accept some failure on some terms and really like just kind of keep people alive, which is honestly the goal.
Yeah.
It also is very thematic. All the difficulties.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
And you can't lose. You just go until turn 20 and see how high your score gets.
Yes, yeah. People whose needs are met on a turn, you receive points for, and then just, game goes until it's done.
Yeah.
I did programming stuff. Do you guys want to talk about what you did?
I did the meeples. We draw them and then scan and take photos and edited them and put it into the system.
made the mistake of deciding to go with the diversifier to do all hand-drawn art.
Yes,
So,
and
and
that
some of the art we
giant
did end up just taking iPhone photos of and then filling in at the end.
Yeah, so these are all drawn by me, and then the map of collaboration between Nate and I.
Yep, if you want to see it, we left some of them at home last night. We've got copies of like the map and stuff like that if folks want to see.
So it's a map of Minneapolis.
We've got upside down,
Oh.
just like in the original film.
It's okay. That was actually how it was originally.
It's kind of up to scale, but it's really hard. So that's yeah, that's my favorite like really.
Really good. Yeah, that's really cool.
Thank
Frame
you.
it. That looks great.
Oh.
Yeah, we ran out of ink, which is a mistake. You can tell.
So you can see upper right hand corner is kind of Photoshop.
Yeah,
But I like the clone to get the texture. Like, you can't really tell.
yeah. The projector color is a little off, but
Helps that it's on the other side of the river was intentional.
Right.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right. So that's what
I
we
have a
did.
question.
Yes.
So I noticed that sometimes someone can have a need that they also have the same has of. How does that work in this game?
So, like, if we just kind of, no, I don't want to open the code. This thing's not that powerful. Basically, it's that we at the beginning of every turn, everybody has their resources and needs like randomly generated. Though there's some constraints on that, so that the numbers match at least. And then if they are not giving their resources to someone else, they can apply it to themselves. So if, say, this individual has, well, they need shelter, but they both have shelter. So this is meeting their needs. But if they say, apply their resources to someone else, suddenly they now need shelter because their resources are taken for or accounted for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Just kind of thematically, like if you need food, then you need to eat your food. But if you've got some extra, you can give it to somebody. I think this was inspired by Project, by someone you know, right?
Yeah, yes. I mean, what is happening now? We have to help each other. We have to help. We only have each other. So seeing the efforts that people have put towards coordinating mutual aid, I thought that sounds like a puzzle. And that's kind of where the idea came from, was just looking at what's happening around and trying to make something of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you can keep going, so every turn it gets one more purple meeples, and it
It
gets.
gets very overwhelming and stressful. It was supposed to be a very calming game with this nice soundtrack
Yes,
that
whatever.
Jesse put together for us.
Yes.
But by level 20, there's so many people with needs.
Yes, that was.
It's not quite as calming anymore.
Right. Let's see if we can get somebody really on the ropes. So you can see if they have the double exclamation point, they have unmet needs this turn, and they only have 1 health left. And if you fail to meet their needs, then, well, they're going to go find aid elsewhere. They didn't die. Even though it's called health. Even though it's called health, they didn't die. They're going to go find aid elsewhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, that's our game. Do you guys have any questions?
What engine did you use?
This is Unity, because that's what I know. And I guess, kind of supposing a question, the biggest challenge, I tried starting with just doing it in 2D, just doing it in the UI, and then I got to the point of, hey, I just want to draw a line between these 2 points. And that's not something that Unity provides in the UI. So it's 3D just so we can have these little nice dotted lines.
But I think it turns out better because the 3D sort of have this like, you can't really see it in the screen, but on their monitor it has a perspective and a depth that actually helps out a lot to kind of visually separate your meeples and the background.
It's a great bit of polish for the time constraint. It
Yeah.
really does add a lot.
10 minutes beforehand. Yeah. I mean, it's always down to the wire. So, sorry, question?
How did you draw the line?
That is a line renderer. And then we just did a Bezier curve. So, source, destination, and then we did halfway and then like halfway up to make a nice arc. And then shader graph to just make like the animated, to indicate like the direction of resources. So.
Looks really good.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's much smoother on this screen. So.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
People to other people, like you give half of your resources to one person, half to another, and make like a big spider web map out of this, or is it pairs?
So originally it was that each of these 5 categories was just an int. So we could have you have 3 food. But I don't know. I kind of was like, oh, I don't want to have to create UI and separate verbs for spreading resources out. So what was
I think
it?
it was very
Yes?
very complicated when you start playing with 20 people and they all have a list and you're trying to remember what it is. So
Yeah.
right now the way it works is you could have multiple people giving to one person if you have 3 people that only have 1 resources and somebody needs 5. So you could all go into one person, but the moment you give it to someone, all your resources go into that person. So that's how it's set up right now. So you
Yeah.
can have that. It's kind
So
of
future
Yeah.
enhancement, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Added depth and complexity.
Yesterday, towards the end of the day, I was like, I'm gonna change it from ints to just be a bit field. I don't care. It's 1 per. So, you can only have 1 destination for your resources, but an individual meeple can have multiple resource origins. So, and I think there are no bugs with that, but don't quote me on that. Only discovered that today. So, sorry.
What
go
does
ahead.
it look like when 2 people give to each other?
It's just kind of so because it's based on UV, you kind of get this weird
Blurring line.
that's not looking right. Basically just kind of flashes. Yeah. It's yeah. Oh. All right, thank you. It's up on Luke. So.
Alright, I need 4 volunteers to play this game.
Oh no, it's pretty good.
Alright, go ahead and grab a controller.
Yes, of them.
Grab one. Get out of the way here. We need 1 more person.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Go ahead. Sorry. I thought we had.
It'd be better if I stood grab it. Okay, here we go.
Controller. So everybody hit start.
So I'm grabbing your controller.
There you go.
Thank you. Join real quick. Start. Yeah, and then still missing 1 person. Okay, and then if somebody hits, somebody dropped.
Yep.
Oh, someone else dropped.
Okay, so I
See which one you are. If you hit start a bunch of times, you can see which one you are.
I'm pushing start and nothing's happening.
It's
this start right here.
Let me real quick. Sorry. Start.
Okay, I think I'm.
Which one is not connected?
It was.
Yeah, your thing is connected. I should have done this before.
I think it's mine.
Oh no, I think I'm 4. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I should be 4.
I'm 3.
Yeah, the
Good old people hearing us whispering.
a couple people were saying they just couldn't really hear much. And
Yeah,
I think 4 at least is flickering a bit.
no one is walking up to the mic.
Yeah.
So,
I think I set a bad precedent with this by talking when I was standing over here, but audio should be good for people on the stream if you're talking into the round microphone there.
yeah, so presenters, best you can into the mic. But there's a lot of configurations, so.
Yeah. There we go. Okay. All right. Who did I start? All right. No one hit start ever again. But someone, you press select.
All right, so you can kind of see the.
You gotta get in front of the microphone.
So on the top right-ish, you can kind of see the controls there. And this is gonna... Is that how the audio is gonna be? Okay, so the idea with this is you are eating candy, and then you are going trick-or-treating to get more candy. And the idea is you're trying to eat the most delicious candy, but not get a tummy ache. And some of the candy, like the candy corn there, gives you a little puke emoji there that represents starting to get a tummy ache. And if you get 3 of those, then you have a tummy ache and you don't get your little hearts, your victory points. All right, so now you can go buy some, or not buy. You can go trick or treating, get some more candy.
Me too. Okay. Move.
Yeah, and so here you're using your energy to get more candy, and then as soon as when you're done, you can press X to basically pass. Yeah. There we go. Now you can eat some more candy. So this is very much a like push your luck kind of game. It's you're building your bag and then you're choosing to how much candy you're gonna eat, and you can kind of see by your faces there like when you start to get sick.
Somebody should stop.
Am I gonna die?
Oh.
Somebody always hands out bananas or apples, you know?
Potatoes.
Yeah.
That's the new thing.
Is it?
Potatoes, yeah.
So I should say, so Deanna did the art and Tim did all the sound and music. They're not here, so, but I think they're watching. At least Deanna is.
Yeah.
Oh,
So it's basically best of 5 rounds, so there's only 2 more. And you can see on the right, like all the different candy has a different effect.
Oh, I did not notice that at all.
Yeah. This is the type of game that it takes a few matches to kind of start understanding what the strategy is. All right, and this is the last round. Choose your candy wisely. And for those of you watching, the hearts are the victory points, so that is what you're trying to get. Oh, somebody passed right away. Oh no. Oh, too far. You have a... I don't know, could be a bug. Could totally be a bug. There we go. All right.
nice. All right.
All right. Cool. Any questions? What's that? So
Use your microphone, boys.
break my rule here and So I made some little simple bots. So they're not very good. Sometimes they're really good, but usually they're not. Kind of. There's a little bit of like they get assigned like an appetite for risk, right? Like on how likely they are to stop getting more candy. So a little bit more to it, but not really much. But you can see they're just crazy about the candy. So yeah. Yeah. Questions?
What did you think was like the most difficult
The difficult part about the what?
part?
Honestly, none of the. It was really so. Any time you have this much stuff on the screen, the hardest part is just knowing what to focus on and highlight. It's always hard to message to, different people, even though they're all experiencing the same images and sound. And yeah, this is an idea I just wanted to try. It's the type of idea that needs a lot of playtesting to kind of figure out what types of candy makes for interesting strategy and that kind of thing. Yeah. Deanna did the art and Tim did the sound and music, and then yeah, and then I did all the code and stuff. Yeah. This is Unity. Yeah. Yeah.
What part was the most fun for you to develop?
I enjoy the little things that you're operating under some pretty strict constraints of time and what assets and things you have, right? And I like just the little things that you have to figure out to do the fast way, and sometimes those things are great. I don't know if you saw Deanna only made first, second, and third medals, but there's 4 characters, and so for the 4th place you just have a little candy corn over your head, because that's the little things like that just they sort of surprise yourself that hey, this actually works really well. Even the tipping over was because it was 90-degree rotation, and it is very silly looking. So. Yeah.
It feels kind of like a art game. Did you have anything you were pulling inspiration from?
Yeah, so the biggest inspirations are Party House from UFO 50. Yeah, very good game. And then Quacks of Quedlinburg, which is like a bag builder, push your luck, same kind of thing. This is sort of design-wise, it's kind of in between a little bit. Yeah, I could talk more about that, but cool. Anybody else? All right. Thank you.
Online? Anyone want to watch the podium?
Or do you have? Is there someone online?
Well, there was someone standing up there, so you can go really quick before he walks up here very slowly. Approaching zombie.
There, yeah. Oh gosh. No, I'll go fast. Here we go. Awesome. Okay, hopefully that should work.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. Hey everybody, my name is Logan Erickson. So I wanted to do something really peculiar for this particular game jam, and I kind of merged it with a personal goal that I've had this year about really pushing myself out of my comfort zone. So this incorporated the idea that I was basically going to build on a new platform. So this is Reddit's Debit, which came out about a year ago. So Reddit's been making a big initiative to push for games. And also particularly with the fact that I really have wanted to bring cognitive training to platforms like Reddit and Discord. And additionally with that, I wanted to stream all of this. So that was the reason I normally would be here all with you,
but instead I ended up setting up a dual PC stream setup because I wanted to be able to basically stream my dev environment and then also still put that out on Twitch. And it was a really interesting and peculiar experience, but I learned a lot. So this was, I built most of this ultimately this morning, because a lot of what went into this was figuring out like how I actually scaffold the project and how to use this. I've never used Devit before, and I ultimately ended up using Phaser here. But what this is, and so anybody at this point, knock on wood, I did the deployment right, is able to play it. And so you can go right now to Jungle Mimic, and you can play this game. And so this is what's called a Stroop task, designed around the idea of with the diversifier for the rainforest and for like nature, saving nature and things. Very quickly, the reason, so a Stroop task relates to the theme of masking, because when you when we see these red words on our screen, our brain immediately interprets that. And so it's our brain actually masking the image that we're seeing. So this is like a fascinating psychological effect. This is very, very easy. The idea here is that you're like trying to identify what you're seeing, whether it's like you want to catalog it as an animal or whether you want to distinguish it as like basically not an animal. And so I created a very, very small data set. I wish I had more time to like build out. Ideally, you'd want to have a much larger data set, but the idea is that they are trying to trick your brain, and then it pairs with the red wording. And so sparing a bunch of complicated science stuff on the back end, it's pretty much like there's an algorithm that's known as a staircase algorithm running in the back. And the idea is that, similar to working out, you need to like push your brain. And so the more you play this, it's going to push your brain harder and harder. So it's very easy right now. If anybody wants to go and try it, you can literally go to reddit.com/jungle mimic, because it seems like it's working. And as the public version, I did submit it to Reddit also, but I don't actually think there's like some weird bugs in it. But it was really interesting using this platform because it's just like super new tech. But I wanted to also incorporate like a very small multiplayer factor. And so part of this is Reddit has something called Redis, which is, it's like their database. And so it's really crazy because you can build your game and use their database. So like this animal saved globally is like a public variable that's stored with everybody who plays the game, and so everybody contributes to that. And then each level, it's a daily level that is seeded based on the date. So the idea is to like go and play the level each day. It's good for your brain, saving some animals, you feel good, so on and so forth. So that's the high level of it. It was really fascinating having never used a platform like this. And I definitely recommend Devit. It's crazy what Reddit has built. So, any questions? Yeah. Say that again. I just did the images purely. So what I did is to make the data set like as close as possible, I basically have like a prompt that I prompt engineered specifically to use VO3, or sorry, not VO3, use Nano Banana Pro to engineer the data sets. When I've done stuff like this in the past, I've like gone and retrieved images. This was a really good way to help create images as close as possible, because you want them, like if you'll notice, like you want them to be super close, but like have that small, like if you looked at like the mantis, for example, it's like you have the flower, but then you have like the mantis on top of the flower. And so I think it's a really interesting use of generative AI in this, and being able to create data sets for these types of tasks. And then when you validate them, you usually go out and you like run a survey and have a bunch of humans report on them. Like, do these images match with what you say? Yeah. Yeah. Totally. So a Stroop task is a cognitive exercise that's been researched for a very, very long time. It improves your brain's processing speed. It can be used to assess a brain's processing speed, but then also when used with an algorithm that like pushes like right at the edge of your cognitive functioning, it'll help improve your processing speed over time.
But like, I guess.
Yeah, go for it.
Images and words, like I don't get quite what was going on there.
Yeah, totally. And so with this is the idea, so the red image is a distractor, or the red wording is a distractor for your brain. And there's this version is very, very easy, I would say, overall. But generally, like, you have a word that is a distractor, and then you have something else going on that is you're trying to match. So a very standard Stroop task would be you have a word written out as a color. So like you'd write the word red, for example, but then the word would be in the color blue. And so that would not be a match, right? And so if you have the word as written as red, but in the color red, that's a match. And so you can use it to train the brain's
So
process
here
speed.
you're trying, like it says grasshopper, and here is there a grasshopper? In this?
Exactly, you got it. Yeah, but this is like that's a really
where I was missing,
totally.
like, I didn't get the connection.
Yeah. No, you nailed it. Yeah, and that's because I wanted to tie. I was like, okay, how do I do a Stroop task, but tie in like a rainforest theme, and right, or like a nature theme? And I was like, okay, we could do the images. But yeah, ultimately, I would have loved to just include like a huge data set with this. Would be super cool. And it's obviously very simple. Yeah. Any other questions? Go for it.
You might have mentioned it, but what made you choose like the Reddit? Is it just because it's new technology you wanted to explore it, or was there anything else that pushed you to do that?
Totally. I think so. Reddit is a fascinating platform from how they want to approach like social gameplay. And I think it's really interesting what they're trying to do from the dev side, because you can't it's like all asynchronous multiplayer, right? So you can't have, and they don't want games like if you think about like what performs well on Reddit, it's about like building an interesting habit. And so obviously there's a lot of stuff that's on Reddit that's fine. Like it's, you go in, there's like hot and cold it's an awesome game that's about like guessing the word. And I was like, okay, how could you build like a positive habit theoretically? Like if I were to scale this, you could do adaptive training for someone, right? That's tied to your Reddit profile, basically. So, oh, thanks. Yeah, this is the very beginning. So yeah, barely scratched the surface, but any other questions? Awesome. Thanks, y'all. And go play it too if you want to try it, and you can save the animals. Put it in. Yeah.
Someone in the back, right?
Yep.
Cool. Come on over.
And I've got so I'm working so it's in stream right now. So I do like maybe blog fly.
You can stream, you can share, or they can share. They can talk, and you can talk. It should work, I say, and we'll find out.
I'll be sharing, I suppose. Is this the?
Yep. So you're talking to that mic, and then if they're gonna contribute, I'll need to turn this Jesus up a little bit. No, it was a full 1/8-inch spark.
Yeah, it was really quick.
I heard it. Okay. That one.
How should I hook this thing up?
You just share into the Discord.
I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So it's in general one. Just join the chat, share your screen, and then mute and deafen yourself in Discord.
Okay.
Your remote teammate can at any point unmute themselves and start talking. And we should be able to hear them.
Let's see. Okay, general one. There we go. It does not seem to want to. Let's do share entire screen now.
So you need to actually go into the full and so you are streaming. So then, which one is this? You?
Yeah.
Okay. So you'll want to share. If you're just sharing your whole screen, that's fine. And then I will point at it on my end.
Okay.
So you should be okay.
Okay.
We get your teammate. Can we get them to speak up just so I can test the volume?
Yeah. Here, let me try and ping.
They should be able to hear us, I hope.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Project. That's all that matters.
Okay, well,
We can risk it and-
yeah, in the off chance that she catches up to what's going on, this project is Resurrected was made by a two-person team, which is me, the programmer, and my friend Minnie, who's over in New York. She was the artist, did all of the really nice looking art for this game. It's very, oh, is this her?
Hello, that's me.
Yeah.
We hear you good.
It's very simple conceptually. There's no real like novelty to the core gameplay. It's just a top-down hack and slash, walking around a map, killing things type of game. However, to fit with the mask theme, all of the abilities in the game come from masks, which you collect throughout the world, and each mask corresponds to a different ability. There is dashing, shooting, and an AoE attack. The core combat is done that you do without masks that you have from the beginning. Is just slashing. I'll start it up real quick to show. I think I've made myself immortal and given myself all the masks because I sort of wrote a riff I can't play and I'm really bad at the game. If I press F, I can cycle through the masks. So all of them, that's like how I choose my different abilities. Usually I have to pick them up, but I'll give myself, let's see, dash. I like dash. So it's just kind of, it's really just walking around killing things. We didn't get very far in terms of developing more than that. There was plans to have a lot of different enemy types and like boss fights and stuff like that, but 48 hours is only 48 hours, didn't quite get to it. It's hard to see. I think the thing that I regret kind of underdeveloping the most is the GUI, because there's a lot of stuff I would have liked to communicate that's hard to communicate just with the stuff you see in the world. And one of those is like a rally system, as in if you've ever played Bloodborne, when you get hit by an enemy, they are briefly tagged as an enemy that you can rally from. And if you hit them back within a certain period of time, like you'll kind of get your health back to promote aggressive play. The way health works for you as the player is when you get hit, your mask is in jeopardy. You'll see it start to flash white. If you get hit again, your mask will actually just kind of dissolve off of you and like a white flame will be exposed. If you get hit with your white flame exposed, that's it, you're dead. And you go back to the start of the game. That's I guess the core of it. It's just a loop like that of constantly going through. Minnie, if you would like to say something about your ideas for the game and the artwork you did.
Yeah, for sure. Can you hear me okay?
Loud and clear.
Okay, perfect. I think in terms of the game, yeah, you can see it on our channel, but when we first started this, I had like crazy ideas for where we could potentially take the map, and you can't see it here, but the map is actually essentially in the shape of a heart, and we have probably gone through like 3 different iterations of the map, trying to see if we can make this work. And of course, I was way in over my head when it comes to how much we could like reasonably get done in 48 hours, but pretty grateful for Thomas for doing so much of the heavy lifting. But yeah.
Yeah, when I saw the heart map, I was like immediately like, okay, yes, like we have to do that. That looks so cool. Like if we continue with this. Yeah, I mean, this was sort of Baby's first Godot project for me. I guess that's a common theme with a lot of people here. Oh, yep, there we go. I right in the intro area. I was very surprised by how little Godot gets in your way. I thought that was like, I was very impressed coming from Unity. I think I'll continue working with Godot for sure. I mean, I'm not sure where I would want to take this project. Like adding more polish to it would of course be very fun for me, but like Minnie, do you have any ideas for where, like things you would want to add in the future if we were to come back to it?
A couple things. It would be nice if we had more of a. Well, I'm always a sucker for story elements, so it'd be nice if we had a stronger tie-in with the masks, I think. And originally, what you see on these like mobs, they have different masks that were meant to actually be on the bosses. And so we actually, originally, the first idea we had was each mob would have a different mask, and there would be multiple like passive mobs, there'd be mobs that are neutral, and so on and so forth. And so each one would have a type of mask, some more passive than others. And I think it would be fun to expand on that and sort of kind of see how those dynamics go.
Yeah, ostensibly there was going to be a story for the game that you are an evil god resurrected to reclaim the masks that made up your face while you were alive. But you know, that was going to be spoon-fed to you via like title cards and stuff, and I did not learn how to use the Godot GUI system at all. So like no title cards. This was done in the last like 5 minutes with me scrambling really, really badly, and that's all I managed to get done. So like no story, just killing things. But yeah, that was the original concept. Yeah, that's really the long and short of it. Thank you guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah.
What does the red guy do? He keeps killing.
Right. Okay. Let me get back into it. Red mask guy, that's AoE. Let's see if one spawns. Yeah, okay. So the AoE, there's no telegraph for the AoE, and it comes out. Oh, sorry. Oops. Yeah. Share entire screen. Oh, so you didn't get one. But yeah, the red mask is the AoE. There is no telegraph. It comes out very quickly. You basically have to avoid it by just being really, really careful around AoE enemies. I'm sorry that there is no special strategy. He may keep killing you if you're not careful, yeah. Shooting, if you go down through like a lower part of the map, you can get the projectile mask, and that is a really easy way to deal with the AoE enemies.
So, you're in the Midwest. Your partner, your artist is on the East Coast. How did this collab come about?
We went to school together. We were in the ACM, and that's where we became friends. And so that's why we're also coworkers. We work on a separate game together. Very different environment. I'm coming to Godot from doing games for embedded systems. And Minnie does the art for that.
So you mentioned you were surprised at how little Godot gets in your way. Can you go through a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I felt like coming to it from Unity, like one of the things that struck me as most notably different is that they enforce the one script per node thing. In Unity, you have that node-based hierarchy, but you can pile a bunch of components all onto one node. I was used to doing communication that way, and sometimes I kind of get stun-locked by the choices in doing that, or I find that there are solutions that I think would work elegantly with a system like that, but then it turns out that like Unity's built-in machinery that I thought would be there wasn't actually there for me to do it. Now I have to like write something myself or modify some little part of Unity. And with this, it's not like I don't have like a technical argument for Godot not getting in my way. It's just literally that I would sit down, I'd think, how do I get this done with just nodes arranged in a hierarchy, one script per node, and I would think, I bet I could do it this way, and it'd be really convenient if Godot had like a built-in little, component for this already. And then I go and read the Godot docs, and they're like, yep, it's there, it's right there. And I had that experience over and over and over again. I was waiting for the moment when it would collapse, and it just never did.
What's something that you missed from Unity?
Man, I guess like peaceful seconds spent staring at my window while Unity tries to catch up to the change I just made. I think that Unity's GUI, especially for like editing scenes, that is something that I missed quite a bit. I feel like the tools for like selecting and modifying things in Unity are just like a little more, maybe they're just intuitive to me because I have used them for so long. But there were things with I kind of messed up with the editor GUI in Godot quite a bit. Like I would misclick and think I had things multi-selected correctly and accidentally maintain links between resources that I thought had been separated by a copy and stuff like that. Thank you.
I'm just gonna keep echoing the same stuff everyone else says. Godot's great. I love Godot. I switched from Unity to Godot and I haven't looked back. Unity is like learning Photoshop, and Godot is more like learning
what's the iPad drawing thing?
Procreate.
Procreate, yeah. We're like, you know, when you try making a picture in Photoshop, but you don't know how to use Photoshop, and then you like try to draw a line or something in Photoshop, it tells you, do you want to add a layer first? What are you doing? But like Procreate, you start it up and then you draw, and then it's art. And that's great. That's how I feel Unity to Godot. You just get to do things.
It's like the secret sub theme.
Right?
Our whole team's here. Yeah. We did all of our work online
Oh, perfect.
for the presentation.
I didn't know they were my team, but I was help right now.
Oh gosh, where is... This is the first time I've screen shared on this laptop. It's yelling at me security-wise. Yes.
We got a moment to talk a little bit about working remotely.
Remotely, just I don't know. I think we just didn't speak much, to be honest. But we just all this is what we're gonna do, and we're gonna meet a couple hours later, and this is what we did. What we're gonna do next.
And it's like, okay, break.
We met twice a day, usually in the morning and kind of at the end of the day, and said, okay, what do we want to do for the next 6 hours or whatever it was? Made a list and say, okay, here's what you're doing, here's what you're doing. Let's meet at dinner time, see what we got done. And it all went really smoothly.
Yep.
We're gonna have to join the
communication as little as possible.
I had big plans to come in and spend the whole weekend, and family kind of disrupted that a little bit. So, yeah, just joined in remote. And it's like, yeah, let's see if I can join in. And Eric and Drew are like, oh yeah, we were here last year remotely. Let's do it again.
Yeah.
So,
Got it?
You're gonna have to open the itch page.
Okay.
Okay, we can start talking about the game while he brings it up. Who's played Number Munchers?
Oh yeah.
Woo! All right, Number Munchers. Classic mech game from for me from the 90s.
Mech?
MEC.
Minnesota Educational Computing Consortium, I believe. They also made Oregon Trail. Maybe if you're familiar with that. Okay, so last year we tried to make a game with complicated mechanics. This year we said, let's start with something we know and then build upon that. So this game is very loosely based on Number Munchers, where you're a guy, I think he's a frog, I don't even know. He moves around a grid and based on the prompt on the screen, munches the right things in the grid. And you avoid the enemies, and if you hit the enemies, you lose a life, blah, blah, blah. So that's where this game started out, but we needed to make this more of a mask theme. So that is where the idea of a carnival masquerade came in. A lot of that from River. And then we simplified it, where there's just 3 kinds of masks that you pick up. Probably can't see it here in the room, but at the bottom, every level has a different color mask that you pick up. And as you complete each level, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So not quite Number Munchers, but the basic mechanics are Number Munchers.
The way we got this going so quick for us is that literally the first night we all got on a call and said, okay, we're going to make Number Munchers. That's Friday night.
Yep.
Saturday, we figure out how to turn Number Munchers into a mask-based game instead.
And it worked.
It worked really well. Like literally Friday night, we were munching numbers, and these were like choose the even numbers kind of things. And then we were like, okay, now that we have a working structure, how do we build in the mask and the carnival dancing thing? So like we also have these blue masked enemies. They match what you do. They dance in sync with you. So if we go left, they all go left at the same time.
Like Number Munchers.
I don't think.
Yes, the different troggles have different movement types.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So we were thinking about that, and then we were like, how does that turn into dancing? The ones that are always cutting through across the dance floor, the ones that are trying to do the same dance as you, and then the people just doing random crap that you never know.
Okay. Would you like to talk about the art and the theme?
Arts theme things. I basically just dumped a couple images in Discord, and then I was like, "Does anyone have any opinions on this?" And there was no responses, so I just picked one of them and started making things. But basically, everything here is on this screen is just done in After Effects because I canceled Illustrator because that's too many licenses right now. And so it's just all handled with After Effects, just very simple app animations for the most part. Then a couple just that thrown on with a couple screen shaders to handle some of the vignettes and such. To handle the other shading. That's about all the animation side.
And it's hard.
It's hard, so then you can also make it a little bit easier by just let's bump up our starting lives from 3 to 143 sounds good. There we go. Now we'll be able to get past level 2.
You turned up the enemy speed, so.
Yeah, they'll be a little bit faster now too.
Okay, any questions? This is Godot, by the way, in case you missed that part.
So one thing Number Munchers never did is expand the size of the thing as you go on. So what was the inspiration for that?
Other than make it not exactly Number Munchers, we were trying to come up with a way to not just have it be 5x5, because it's an what's the word?
Edutainment.
Edutainment game, where the idea is you're coming up with these prompts. I think we came up with the idea of expanding it because we came up with 2 levels. Went even numbers and objects that are red. We're not going to come up with things that are enough to do something interesting. So this was an idea where it's like the dance continues and it just gets bigger and bigger and harder. And actually, over dinner yesterday, we came up with this simple way to do this, and it actually didn't take very long to implement. We already had it in there where we took the sprites that are 320 by 320 for the grid and had that size in there, and based on the grid size, we were able to shrink them. So it actually went really quickly, right?
Yep, and it continues to get smaller and smaller and smaller.
Close to 15 by 15.
32 by 32, that's level 15.
Oh, level 15.
And so by the end, it's like smaller than if you were playing Minecraft. It's just like everything is itty bitty and you've got 1,000 masks on the screen. So it gets pretty huge, but as you're doing all of this, none of the enemies despawn. So the dance floor just kept getting more and more and more crowded. So the later levels, if you're playing through till those, they're going all over. And when you're stepping right, like the 25 blue ones are all stepping right at the same time with you. So it's very much...
Hence the life sliding.
Right. It gets very hectic at that point. And then, let's see, what else?
Did you have a question?
Oh yeah, so I was playing and I... So like, it looks like it's turn-based, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's only when you move, but it's like also a timer. Because like not everyone moves when you move.
Right, so it's a timer that enables them to move, and then there's so the blue ones will try to move the same direction you move whenever you move, but they have a timer. They can only move every 2 seconds. You can move much faster.
Depending on the speed, it's 3 seconds, 2 seconds, or 1 second.
Yep. And so that's how those ones work, and then the yellow ones just go straight across, and the red ones move randomly.
So you have like a couple of blue ones there. Like, so you've got 2 of them like left to right of each other.
Yeah.
If you move left or right, will they both move, or do they kind of run into each other and then?
They can share spaces.
Yep, they can share spaces, And also, if you walk them off the edge, they will go into the crowd and come back somewhere else. So I'm going to move left, and there's 2 of these blue ones that are going to go off the side. And you'll see that they come back in at the top and down there. So the enemies are always there, and you can kind of maneuver them a little bit to the place you need if they're standing on the remaining masks that you need to finish the level.
Yeah, that's the fun part. They block the masks, and you're like, I thought I picked up all the yellow ones, and then there's just a guy standing on the mask. Just like a real dance.
Just like a real dance. Everyone's standing on masks all the time. It's the weirdest thing.
The character move, like sometimes it like jitters in there. Is that like a thing?
That's been the hardest thing we've been fighting with. Is the bit of jittering with the NPCs. For the player character, any jittering that's happening is usually because I allow you to take the next move slightly before you reach the first destination, and then it kind of lerps you around the corner to where you're going to.
It's not pure grid-based movement. You can kind of curve it a little bit.
Right. And then because everything has been resized and reshrunk based on the size of the grid, that's where most of the bugs came from, was that Godot's positioning is based on pixels of the screen. So if you're saying move to the right 5 pixels, but you're shrunk way down, it's not moving to the not moving right 5 pixels divided by whatever the shrink is. So you see these characters are actually moving a lot faster now than they were before, and that's because they're still moving the same number of pixels, but not a scaled pixel value.
So how are you building this in Godot's UI system then?
No. So the grid itself is a tile grid, the like background cobblestone, and then all of the masks and everything are just like code created animated sprite 2Ds.
Okay, so I'm curious about that. Everything is moving in pixels because in theory you should still be able to move in sub-pixels unless you're intentionally rounding it.
Honestly, I might be accidentally rounding it to whole pixels, but I think it's more the movement of the position isn't being affected by the scale down effect. So like right now everything's at like a 0.1 multiplier, but they're all moving then 10 times faster because it seems like they're moving the same number of screen pixels. So I'm setting the wrong position somewhere and causing it to do that versus using local coordinates somehow. And I didn't tease that apart properly. But yeah, that's the game. It gets bigger until, like I said, it's like 1,000 masks. You can technically win it, but good luck. Yeah.
We get a sense of who else is left. So, who else wants to show? One person from the team, raise your hand.
We are past closing time, is that right?
Yeah.
All right, then we're gonna have to be brutal. 5 minutes per team,
All right, go fast.
and you can forever blame the earlier teams for storming the stage before you ready.
Nobody asked me complicated questions about ancient hardware.
Don't teach them.
Oh, whoops. Share screen.
It's mute and definite.
That's great, yeah. Okay. Not a sprite. There we go. Entire screen. The good screen. Alright, is it working? I want to play with this thing, but I might actually have to do it online because my emulator speed's kind of wonky. I don't know why it's different on this computer. Alright, let's do this. I'm gonna have to just use my keyboard because I did not play test on this laptop. Alright. remnants of. Oh, why am I echoing?
You might have deafened yourself.
Oh, I did. I gotta.
Yes, the headphones next to the mute button.
Gotcha. That one.
Yep.
Okay.
There you
So there's still audio.
Yeah, we'll still be getting audio from your machine.
Okay.
Just you won't be hearing us coming back.
Cool. All right. All right. So this game is running on OpenBIOS on PS1 emulator because I decided to make a actual PS1 game. I've been kind of working on the text. Yeah, I've been working on the tech stack for a while because I really wanted. I was really inspired by like how PicoWay and Picotron have their user experience, where you just like throw an image somewhere and it's a game. Like it's portable and everything. It works on my phone, works on my Pi, it probably works on some smart fridges. And I wanted that same experience. I bought a couple of consoles and I kind of don't really play like those handheld thingies, and I don't really play them that much. So I have a little bit of buyer's remorse, and so I figured, I want to make games for that stuff. I want to make games that run on my phone. I don't want to go through stupid build processes. So yeah, you got this. I also love doing like 3D on ancient tech, and it's kind of fun. But I was not really prepared for this because the whole I have a bunch of math libraries, right? And a bunch of 3D rendering libraries. None of those work here. Main reason, probably same thing with Scott, is that this is before the time of floating point numbers. So trying to calculate pi, nah, it's just 0 to 4096. No reason. 180 degrees, 2048. Trying to scale stuff, good luck, because you don't have 1.5, none of that. You're just using integers all the way, man. So it sucks, but I cheated a little bit and used some LLMs to help me figure out that math. But hey, it works. All you do is a story for people online or whatever. But this is basically inspired by a quote from Andor. I'm sending someone I trust, someone I know I can trust. You'll ask if he's alone. He will say, I have friends everywhere. This is a quote from Luthen Rail to Mon Mothma as she's trying to rile up whatever she can from the Galactic Senate as she's about to leave, and she's trying to expose this huge conspiracy that they're trying to mine the planet Gorman for its resources and destroy the entire ecosystem. El Moria is actually from a game that I made back in 2021. I'm not going to go through the story a whole lot, but in general, the planet's gone now. Everybody on that planet has migrated to Mancora. The Empire is in free fall. All the stocks are plummeting. They have to blame someone. And so they decide to blame the refugees from a planet they previously destroyed. In order to make themselves look better, they decide to just shift them around. And in this world, they're basically going to send them off to a penal colony where life is much harsher and the survival rate is really low. So nobody really wants to leave. The Elmorians are not violent. They're very peaceful people. So we'll kind of see how they deal with this situation. The game plays over 5 days, and each day the intensity of the actions going on outside increases. I actually didn't really get that far with things going on outside. I spent a lot of time just getting the character to work because, like I said, math works differently in integer world than it does in floating point world. So a simple camera projection matrix does not work the way we learned from Scott's talk, because all the sine, cosine functions output integer values, which do not line up with your typical radians at all. You'll also see some interesting artifacts that are not graphical but actually logical. So yeah. So let's see here. Oh boy, can I actually walk? Uh-oh. Something's not right. with the input all of a sudden. I think it's because I tried to reconfigure it, and now it kind of like screwed itself up. Okay, well, let's try Duck Station. Backup plan. Restart real quick. Yeah. Okay, I'll try not to talk about math too much. It really hurt my brain. Okay. Let's do that. What is the start button? Gamepad's not plugged in, but I guess I have to plug it in. We'll see if that works. Okay. Alright, cool. Skip that. Alright. Talking to the mom. She'll tell you to deliver some food to some people. Right now, things are kind of chill. As I walk outside, you can see when I turn the camera around, because it's integer, there's some weird rounding issues. You also get like the classic PS1 artifacts with what is it called? Vertex jitter. Yep, you got affinity. So I actually had to angle the camera a little bit. There are these guys running around out here. You probably know who they are in real life, but in this world they're called the enforcers. If you get caught, your day's over. You basically lose a customer. You can kind of go into any house you want, and there'll be inhabitants that you can talk to. They don't have a whole lot to say right now. I didn't quite get to fill out all their dialogue. The mother has a lot to say, but everybody else kind of just either takes food or doesn't take food. I'll try to do at least one delivery so you guys get the idea of what the idea of this game is. So we have a little mini map. You can walk. Yep. Start. You can walk up to houses and you'll see the numbers. So it's kind of a little bit of like get to know your neighborhood kind of game. Once you memorize the numbers, you kind of like are able to complete your deliveries a lot faster, figure out your routes, and try to avoid getting captured. I'll walk into here. And there's your food, sir. So I'm kind of playing as an Uber in this space alien world. So they're like happy for the food. In exchange for food, they give me a mask. I know I kind of skipped through the mother's dialogue, but she explains that the masks are magical. They basically fool the guards into thinking that you're a different alien species than you are. And I'll walk outside here so you get a little bit better idea of what the mask looks like. If you guys have been following the news, this mask kind of looks a little bit familiar. I wanted to pick something that represented a symbol of our times and a symbol of like peaceful protesting and a symbol of like really needing to change for what we are right now. You know, freedom and being able to live as an immigrant, whether illegal or not, without having fear. So I picked this. I'll walk into here and complete the mission for the day. I believe this is the house that I was supposed to deliver this to. So you can see there's a gentleman that looks just like me. I hand him the mask. And he's kind of free now. So I'll walk out. And there's a little bit of more graphical issues, but that's about it. So if I walked out again, oh, I can't do that now. I'll have to grab a delivery first. But there will be more agents outside, and you can talk to the mom. She'll give you some information on what's going on outside, why the, you know, why there are more enforcers out as people protest and pressure builds, and more of the neighbors start going missing. And you'll kind of notice that here. One of the things I personally noticed was a lot of my, I love ethnical food. So one of the things I started noticing around here was that they are kind of scared to come out and serve food. And so a lot of them like close down, and I feel like it's doing a lot of irreparable economical damage to a lot of small businesses. And I wanted to capture that in a game. I wanted to tell that story. You know, people read on the news and all they talk about is violence and stupid garbage about Donald Trump and his, I don't know, Epstein files, but they don't really talk about this kind of stuff, like the ground level truth, what we're going through, and the irreversible damage that's really happening. Yeah, that's the game.
I think it really comes across like it's a very simple set of mechanics, but as you're describing the themes, it's like, of course. I think you nailed what you're going for here.
Yeah, I think everybody can kind of like feel it, you know. I don't have a whole lot. I didn't put in as much dialogue as I wanted to, but I feel like from the interaction with the environment and seeing things change around you, just even with like low poly graphics, it makes an impact on me. So yeah. Does anybody want to ask any technical questions quick? If not, I'm gonna skedaddle.
One tech stack. Do you even like have 3D models?
That's a question for later.
There are 3D model loaders. There are libraries that do that.
My question is, can you give a talk on this later?
Yeah, I can. Yeah. There are no sound drivers, so I can't load it in memory.
We good?
Yeah.
Awesome. Oh, let me actually do top secret. I'm gonna do something to just kind of move this up a little bit. So the game that I made here, with my buddy Connor, who had to go home a little early. He's a little bit of an early sleeper. It's called Loonfall. There's like this phenomenon that happens that loons have to take off from the water. But it's so cold out sometimes that ice builds up on their wings and they have to land, or they cannot fly. To start out, we just kind of put a link here to this mutual aid that will open up a link tree. But then jump in. You're a loon that shoots lasers from his eyes, and there's ice and snowflakes coming at you. What you'll find is eventually, I sped this up, but some ice cubes will come up, and you'll find some companions. Each person, or each loon that you find, upgrade system, make our laser better there, but these will actually increase the damage or change the lasers of our companions. Something that's kind of fun about these companions, or I guess something that kind of hits me a little bit, is that they're actually very easy to lose. The minute you lose one, or the minute they just get hit once, you lose them. But one thing that we wanted to kind of try to build into the upgrade path that I didn't have time to is just kind of working, giving them more health upgrades. I'm hoping to get another loon here on my side, so I can show you something else, which is that here we go. The loons upgrade individually, and so if you lose one that you've been working with for a while, you lose quite a bit of power. But then each pickup that you have actually affects the whole group, and each loon is individually named. Yeah, any questions? That's a good question. We could probably add it. I have no idea. I found some lists in JSON of names, and I just threw it in because it's pretty easy in Godot. All right. And so I guess one thing, I've got emitters from the top that just kind of throw out snowflakes and some other things. But then you can start kind of see these ones that are going around in paths. Those are basically just different nodes that have some paths that are moving down with those snowflakes going around. Oh, jeez. Oh, geez, indeed. And so as far as mask, I think we originally kind of went at this. We came in with a concept like, is there a way to make some sort of protest game? And so I guess with the mask, it was like, well, it seems apropos, but how do we include an actual mask? And so we went with our final boss here. Let's see. Oop. Spawn boss. Turn. And that would be Booby Boss. So there's a bird called a masked booby, and he's our final protagonist. And I'll just kind of throw him in here right away. And he'll kind of immediately come from the top and start throwing ice cubes and snowflakes at you. But he throws enough to where I'm going to die pretty quick here. But the idea is that he's unwittingly throwing your companions at you. So the more companions he throws at you, you can add them to your team and take them down. Yeah. Any questions? Oh yeah, Connor was who I made this game with. Connor made this all in Krita. Kind of came up with some concepts. You can see on the scrolling here some lakes that show up. The actual Minnesota lakes. One's like the Lake of the Isles in that group. In Bede Makaska. There's Lake Itasca that kind of goes underneath here. But yeah, Connor's just a fantastic artist. Yeah, he and I made games before together, and so we kind of swapped back and forth who's doing the art on it, and he's obviously got a great eye. Yeah. Oh, I did. Yeah, I threw the music in as well. That's one thing I think, doing this again, I'm a musician. I do a lot of music. Connor and I do theater together as well. I like compose for some shows that we do. But I think if I were to approach this again, I'd probably bring out another musician so I can focus a little bit more on the programming. Yeah.
Is there a max number of companions?
So yeah, six companions, and they all kind of flock behind you. Cool. Thank you.
Is the HDMI. Oh, duh. I see. Yes. Yep, absolutely. Yep. Have I not already? I think I have. Yeah. Okay.
So I'm Adam, that's Nicholas, and that's Michael, and we made Temple of Gradients. Our sort of thought with this when we were coming into it was that we were trying to think of an interesting way to use the word mask, and we began the jam like kind of you do, sitting around a table shooting out ideas with the word mask in them. And I thought of the word color mask, which means something in digital photo editing, but I don't know what it means in digital photo editing. What it made me think of was in physics classes, like in high school and stuff, we had these like plastic filters that you could look through, and when you did, it would show only one color through. So like the red one would cancel out all the green and blue and only let red through rather. And so we thought it would be cool as a game mechanic to be able to put on a mask that's red and see only the red that comes up from the screen. White things and red things would blend together, so a red wall would become invisible. If it was on a white background, you could make a puzzle out of that. And so we did. We made a essentially like Baba Is You style top-down puzzler with that mechanic in mind. And in this puzzler, like we said, there are these masks that when you put it on, apply a shader that makes the entire world red. And because some walls are made entirely of one color or another the pixels, those walls become invisible against the white background. So when you do the red one here, the red wall is gone, but the green wall in front of you still is not passable. If you hit the green mask, though, the red wall is now not passable, but you can go right through green. And similarly, blue. And so with this mechanic in mind, we sort of decided, let's, come up with what might be interesting to add to that sort of a game. And we came up with lots of ideas, like switches that can toggle between like red and green. So like these blocks at the top here switch red to green when you click on a switch, which then when you put on your red mask lets you walk through them in one state, but not when they're in the other state, allowing for more puzzle diversity. And all kinds of things like little cars that, like kind of Mario Maker level style, might switch switches for you. So you can do puzzles where you need to turn the wall the same color as the car so that the car can walk through, then switch back so that the car is stuck, toggling a switch for you, allowing you to progress while it switches your switch. Things like lava that's only lava when it's red, but if you switch it blue, becomes water, and water is passable. Oh, but I've locked myself out here, having forgotten the puzzle design that we made. Have to flip that switch first. And essentially, we just made this a big jam full of thinking of what would be cool mechanics for a game with this sort of concept in mind, and making a series of levels. And so we'll skip through a bunch of them here. We have skip and reset buttons for, puzzles that don't seem like they would be quick and easy to do at a jam, or that you're not having fun with if you're playing the game. But eventually, we end up with this big boss battle level at the end, which we're all very happy with and proud of, where he is going to shoot out these beams or rings of light, basically, that'll hurt you if you are not wearing the color mask they are. And it challenges you to go and solve 4 puzzles that are kind of set up by the mechanics that you've learned so far. I'm going to die here. That are set up by the mechanics you've learned so far, in an effort to essentially challenge you under a time duress to kind of use what you learned. And if you hit all 4 switches, the sun guy here is defeated, and you win the game. And I'll simulate that by just clicking the button that wins the game for me here, and you get a nice little end screen. And also, you might have noticed the music as that was going there. We did a dynamic sort of music system where we had one like song that we composed, one melody that all of it goes to. But every time you pick up a mask, the instruments driving that melody change, and it's just on the note that you left off from. The new instruments come in, the old ones fade out, and makes for kind of a cool system that each mask has its own vibe while you're solving your puzzles in it. Thanks. Any questions at all?
What was the division of labor?
We all did all of it. We all dabble in all parts, so all 3 of us are software devs by day, but also all 3 of us like doing pixel art as a hobby, and we're a bunch of music nerds. So we kind of just traded hats when we needed to. If somebody needed to be doing programming, but we needed art assets, another person would make art assets, and there was 24 hours where Nicholas was just making music while we made level designs, things like that. Yeah. Oh, actually, yeah, we're a little different. This is made in Game Maker. So no stake in the Godot and Unity war. We're Switzerland here. And yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Oh yeah.
Let's have someone start on the computer first, because that one will go on the screen. There's a gamepad, and then there's arrow keys with S.
NES.
Yep, it's the pickup throw button.
If you want to play on the NES as well, that would be great. Two more people.
Yeah. So, yeah. You hit start on the gamepad. Okay. We'll start playing. Nice. Hit start now. We actually play the game. Yeah. So the game we made is for the NES, and it's called Trash Bandits. It is a one person. Yes. The game we made is for the NES. It's called Trash Bandits. It is a 1 versus 1 competitive game. You are raccoons and you're trying to hoard trash. You can see in the lower left and lower right corner, like the two players, there's a preferred type of trash they're trying to collect that gets you extra points. And so, yeah, they're trying to throw it into their dumpsters, on the left and right sides to get points. And they can throw the trash at each other to stun the other player temporarily. So you can, like grab their trash. Because for instance, if they're supposed to be getting the fish bones on the left side, you might want to grab the fish bones to keep them away from them, because then you don't get as many points for them maybe, but you keep them from getting points. Or you can throw a fish bone at them and stun them, and it destroys it. And so there's a few elements we can use to make it a little more competitive. Yeah, so it's not like a particularly deep or complicated game, but Trash Bandits. What game engine? This is Godot. No, it's written in C, basically. There's a template I made a couple years ago, so.
I love the color palette choices.
Oh, yes, we should talk about our team. So I, like several times now have tried to convince people we should make an NES game. There's a couple of the people in here who have, stomached that. Alex was the other programmer on the team. And we also had Brock and David doing art. Brock did the backgrounds and the logo screen, and Brock did the sprites and such. We kind of ran out of time for audio, but there is technically audio, must just be muted or whatever. It's this placeholder sound. So, anything you want to add? Oh, microphone.
Hello. Working on an NES game was quite the challenge. I usually use Godot, which I love. And the NES is a little bit more limited than that.
Can you tell us about the limitations in terms of making sprites?
Yes.
Would you like to? Or?
Sprites. Everything has a very limited color palette. Can only have 3 colors for each thing. So you'd see that the raccoons are white, gray, and black. Like the apple core has a few different colors. The color palette in general that the NES has is very limited.
You basically get fully saturated colors. You get middle brightness up to full brightness, but you can't. There's no desaturated colors other than gray.
Yes.
Question?
Controls are simple, but it's very mechanically dense, and I'm curious if there's anything in your thought process that helps you come up with such density in what these simple mechanics can do, and even things like having a favorite and how that interacts with your opponent, designing multiplayer.
I mean, to be honest, a lot of it came together to be playable halfway through today. And so it's a bunch of ideas of how do we want to put them in the trash bins? I guess throw it is more exciting than just dropping it or whatever. And then it was what if we could throw them at each other? Should it stun them or whatever?
And so it's just a bunch of just like ideas that we had that we couldn't really test out until today, really. And a bunch of them seem to like kind of work. So
Yeah. Also, with the limitations of the NES, you have to, for it to be like a bit more depth of a game, you have to have things be able to do multiple things. So throwing can score you points or stun the opponent.
there's one more thing I'm going to interrupt the game here for a second, but there's one more thing I wanted to show quick. It was, yeah. So there's our team. Hopefully I'm talking loud enough for the microphone. And this is a visualization I really like. It's a little blurry on the screen. But this is our entire game reinterpreted in the NES's like normal graphical format that the GPU uses. So you can see every bit of like information in the entire game. That's 32 kilobytes.
Yeah. We saw one of the diversifiers was cartridge ready, which needs 10 megabytes or less. And we passed that pretty easily.
A screenshot of the game. 32 kilo. I don't know. I have to do math.
Not something you're known for.
10, 20. So 32 by 32 times 3. Yeah, about 100.
Crash Bandits work.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, and like a screenshot of our game is bigger than the actual game. So. And, that should be on there. Yeah, we'd have to pull it up on a different page. I don't know how much time do we have. Yeah, that's kind of a tradition when possible that we've done in the past is make a fake cartridge image for the game.
Yeah, Brock made this one and then also made it look like it's been pulled out of the trash.
Oh yeah, and Brock wanted to share that. Yeah, he like how did he word that? It's just that it wasn't as hard as he originally thought to make it graphics for an NES game. So like once he like understood like what the limitations were, he felt like it went a lot better. And it was a lot easier than he thought it was going to be starting out.
Recruiting for next year?
Yep. But that's Brock's words, not mine. So.
I mean, I've been on that role, and I agree. It's very satisfying when you get it right.
Any questions?
What did you enjoy about working on a NES game that you just don't enjoy in Godot?
I find it really fun. Just like everything is code. In order to draw sprites, you have to get them from the tile sheet from code, and while that's very time consuming and finicky, just like a different vibe, I suppose, and makes things a lot more rewarding as well.
Have you ever used like a C or C++ language before, or you only ever used GScript?
Yes, I have used C and C++ before. I haven't used C in like a few years. I've used C++ like pretty recently. So it took a bit getting used to C again, but not too bad. Yes.
So, Scott, have you made how many NES games have you made?
For the Global Game Jam, 7 now. I made a few more on the side. Maybe.
More than the Nintendo seal of quality allows.
All right.
All right, I think that's last call. Unless there is someone who wants to boot me from this podium. No takers, brilliant. If anyone did want to present and wasn't able to, we will reserve some time for you at the game dev meeting in February before the presentation. So don't hesitate. You'll also have a little time to prepare. So we'd love to hear from you if you didn't get a chance today.
If you're interested in that, DM any of the organizers, and they will point you to the right person.
Thanks for joining us this weekend. Thanks for staying late to hear from all the teams. Thanks to all the teams who showed. Excellent work, everybody. Round of applause for the whole group. All right. Oh, shucks. All right, we'll see you all again.